I definitely understand why people can feel guilty taking days off. I know for me, for sure, I've always felt this way. But we got to look at it from a perspective of who taught us that we had to feel guilty on taking days off. Now, we need to dive deeper into the shadowy aspects of why we believe that's not good. It's because through societal conditioning, through what our parents were taught, through what they taught us, and everything else, everybody's teaching us this idea that hustle culture looks like success. So the more that you're working, the more successful you look like. But do you actually feel successful the more you work? Not necessarily. A lot of people tend to feel really burned out. They want to like burn the whole thing down. They're over it. They want to quit. They're like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I decided, nobody wants to be an employee to their own business. Like, I became an entrepreneur for freedom. What does freedom look like to me? What does freedom feel like to me? And it doesn't feel like working and feeling guilty on my days off. Now, a lot of times, and this is going into the depths of shadow work, when we think of the shadows within our body, the limiting beliefs that hold us back, the guilt, we almost feel like we have to feel guilty because we know that holds us to the identity that we should or shouldn't be doing something. And when we think about identifying with this guilt, it actually makes us feel more like who we are because we felt guilty our whole lives for whatever reason. And so when we can actually feel into the guilt and allow it to just be there and sit there instead of trying to avoid that guilt, we actually can alchemize that and allow it to process through us and out of us so that we can put in that space something that is more aligned with us, like joy and happiness and freedom. And so feeling guilty is really just kind of almost, and this is so out of love, but it's very much an excuse to stay rooted in your own identity. So the scarier part is to release the guilt, because then we're like, well, if I don't feel guilt, then who am I? I've always felt guilt in my life. I've always felt stress in my life. It's like, who am I without this guilt? And so what we do is when we release it, what do we want to feel like? And then when we can think from that future self, how we actually want to feel on a day off. I want to feel fucking good. I want to feel like, cool, I got a cancellation, an opportunity for a new thing. Cool, I have a day off. This means it's an opportunity for me to get better at my art, for me to up level, for me to take some rest, because rest is good for business. And so we really have to like kind of dive deeper into the root of why we're feeling the thing and why we want, like, it's almost like it's like kinky, like we almost don't want to, but the more we stop trying to think about it, we perpetuate it even more. And so it's like, let's actually feel through the guilt, not make it something bad. It's just an intense feeling, release it, and then think about the person that wants to feel really good. Why did we get into this business? For freedom, for, for joy, for happiness, all of these feelings. Let's stick to those feelings and operate from that space instead.